那在研发疫苗的过程中，存在一些什么样的问题呢？接下来呢，我们会再次有请赛诺菲中国区的总裁贺恩婷，以及我们要欢迎中国科学院神经科学研究所的高级研究员裘子龙教授。两位呢将继续和我们聊一聊我们关心的疫苗话题。So let's welcome Pius and Professor Zilong to have further discussions. 我们有请导播把画面切给两位。
Hello, Dr. Hornstein. How are you doing?
Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your an aspect of how the Sanofi is reacting to the global epidemic crisis. Now, I guess we have a few questions to talk about. Now, as you mentioned, I'm curious about the digital transformation, and specifically for the academia, it's very interesting. We have a lot of online meeting. I give lectures to students online through all kinds of softwares. You mentioned a lot of strategies Sanofi now is applied. So could you summarize what is a key aspect and how the Sanofi will be reacting according to this global COVID-19 the issues?
Sure. So I mean, we all have been taken a bit by surprise with the crisis and the pandemic. In China, we had, starting with the 21st of January, we had to really adapt the way of how we work. We have, a large workforce in China, and we have a very large workforce outside of China. So first of all, we had to, today, 75,000 employees of Sanofi are working remotely from a different place than their workplace. So we can do that today, which is incredible. Before we would not have been able to imagine that. So even in 2003, when we had SARS and other epidemics, we would not have been able to do so. So for companies which are in the service industry and which can actually do a lot of work remotely, it's a fantastic opportunity. We are able to have the conference today with millions of participants through Zoom. So that's certainly incredible. And what we did in China is also to see, how can we continue to interact with physicians and healthcare professionals during, even in the month of February, early March, and we have been able to do so with a large majority of them. So despite nobody being able to visit hospitals or interacting with physicians, we were able to, be in contact with more than 60% of the people we are usually interacting. We have been able to have a huge amount of contact and medical education. So I think that's one of the things we do. I think we're going to see that this is probably changing not only now, but we are actually thinking about how this will change the way we work post-COVID. There will be a world afterwards, and it will not come back. We believe it will not come back to the pre-COVID period. We will certainly not come back to doing, one-to-ones meetings necessarily face-to-face, because there's absolutely no interest in doing so. It's a waste of time. Probably, but we need meetings where people can brainstorm together, they have social interactions, they can bond together. But just to have discussions on specific topics, we actually realize that we don't need to be face-to-face everywhere. And the same for customers. So we are adapting our systems to really also to that post-COVID period.
Yeah, great. So thank you. I'm curious about what else do you think we should do more to improve this efficiency of communicating online, or in the future to communicating with within hospital, with the industry, within academia? So what else do you think we should do to make it better?
I mean, it's a learning experience for everybody. I mean, it has been a learning experience for me, because I was also at the beginning of February, I had to be in quarantine, I had to interact with my employees. We had digital town halls. So it's for everybody. It's a new learning experience, also for healthcare professionals. I think the tools we have need to adapt. We need to professionalize the tools we have. In China, everybody obviously uses WeChat for a personal basis. But if you want to professionalize that more, you might want to think, is there a professional solution, specifically in an environment where you need to also apply ethical rules and compliance? Right. So we are looking into, should we apply, instead of WeChat only, should we apply WeChat Work, which is a professional tool where companies can interact professionally with each other. So we are thinking about that. And other tools where we are able to have, we adapted Zoom, for example. I know that we are on Zoom too, but this startup 18 months ago, nobody knew. Now everybody's using it because it's so simple to use. Huh? So how can we do medical education, presenting to physicians or healthcare professionals through Zoom? So we are adapting very fast. I think it will be incredibly natural to do that. So I'm quite, and I'm quite impressed also how employees deal with that change. It's actually quite natural.
Okay, so things are still changing quickly. Okay, now I think we definitely should talk about the vaccine, which is everybody cares so much about. So Sanofi, I believe, they're one of the pioneers on the world pharmaceutical companies to develop to providing the healthcare products. So could you tell us about what is Sanofi doing right now to speed up the development of the vaccine against the COVID-19?
Yes, good question. So again, it's a bit linked to what I said before. It needs innovation, and I think the good news is, I think innovation will happen much faster now during COVID to find a vaccine than it will ever had to take time. So it will probably, if we find a vaccine, and I'm definitely sure that we're going to find one, us or other companies, it will be the fastest route possible. Specifically, Sanofi is doing actually three things. Developing a vaccine, and I'm sure you're aware of that, is a complicated matter. So it will take time, even if it goes very fast. So most speculations or most estimates are that it will take 18 to 24 months. So it's not a fix in 3 months. Imagine developing a small product. Sometimes in consumer industry it takes 3 to 6 months, and here we're talking of vaccines which will be efficacious and be safe to be used in millions of patients. So it will take a bit of time. Sanofi has undertaken 3 different routes to really speed up the innovation. There is the classical route of vaccine development, which is linked with recombinant DNA, which takes a bit more time. There is a route which is called through mRNA, where you inject an RNA into another virus, and you're able to produce actually the antigen in the body of the humans. There are different companies doing that. We are doing both. And the third is, we have also engaged 3 weeks ago, with another large multinational company in pharma to really put the science of both companies together to work on different aspects of producing and developing vaccines, to potentialize also the possibility of producing large quantity of vaccines. So I think today we realize that one company alone is not able to take the challenge. One nation probably alone is not able to take the challenge if we really want to go very fast. So we have embarked also to partner with normally a competitor to be able to deliver a vaccine as fast as possible at scale, and then be able to produce it industrialized for millions and millions of patients if needed.
Yeah, it's great to find out the whole industry that collaborate together, try to fighting against this kind of global threat. It's very good to see the things happening. Now, so I'm curious about people are also in my field talk about. So there are 2003. There's another similar coronavirus SARS that come in China, quickly come, quickly go. So back then, actually, over 17 years ago, the many works related to vaccine development was going on, but later on they quickly stopped up because there's no virus around. So what do you think? So would it be helpful if we have the workable SARS vaccine back then?
So actually, yeah, you're mentioning a good point. Actually, Sanofi was one of the companies who back then already developed a vaccine, and unfortunately, the virus disappeared faster than the vaccine was developed. But we had quite a lot of experience in starting to develop a vaccine also for SARS. The basis is the same; it's a similar type of virus, so it will help us to go faster. certainly, globally, what we can do more is, as I said before, this is not just a one company task or one single country task. As we see that this is a global pandemic, everybody's impacted over a long period of time, and it will not just disappear, overnight. We know that the virus will accompany us for the next month. I hope only months and not years, but it could also be years. Actually, we don't know. So collaboration, pandemic collaboration, early detection, also with new digital tools, where
many efforts going on. But I'm still curious about, so could you summarize in a few sentences? So why didn't we have the SARS vaccine? Just because the virus goes away?
You need
Patient, right?
Vaccines are very specific. So as you see, for example, flu vaccine, the flu each year can slightly change. So the vaccines of 2 years ago might not be so effective for a flu which has slightly changed its appearance and its antigens. So first of all, you need to be very specific. So a specific virus needs specific vaccines. So you really have to work on the specificity of the virus. The good news about COVID-19 is that the genome has been sequenced in a few days. What normally takes 1 or 2 years has been done. I think it was less than 2 weeks. So you need to be specific. So yes, while the technology of the past can help, but SARS and COVID-19 is not the same virus, has completely different impact on population, have different mortality rates, different infections rates. So you need to be specific. What can help is to really have the technology, you have the preparedness in terms of industrial capacity, in research, different researchers, working together to find on the same topic to find the solution. I'm sure that in your daily work as a professor, you work also closely with other professors to work on specific problems. It's very similar in healthcare. So the secret is to work at preparedness, across Europe, across China, across North America, to have the best minds of the country and the world together, and the best companies together with the government to develop that. I think it's really to have this coordination and this openness to work together, which will drive faster innovation.
Oh, great. So things are, it's really joined us together, although that's a global crisis. So now, I like to want to hear, in your opinion, so what lesson should we learn from both from SARS and from the COVID-19? Or in the future, right? Is this some kind of virus might hit us a few years in the future, or like 10, 20 years. So what should a healthcare industry or academia prepare? Like preparedness you talk about. So what should we do? Should we keep this the vaccine development ongoing to
prepare? You went through a crisis. You need to be alert for the next crisis, even if it happens only in 5-6 years. So I think governments certainly drew a lot of lessons from that. And then I think it's also to be the economic preparedness. I think we learned as a company how you maintain operations, how you have obviously a globalized supply chain, but how you have a globalized supply chain at the same time have a redundant supply chain. You have different elements which can replace other elements if they're dysfunctional or if they are blocked. So I think we are thinking much more in ecosystem. We're thinking how can we prepare our employees, making sure that everybody has mobile devices to be able to work actually from home or for anywhere the person is. That has not been the case in many cases. If you have a desktop and you are bound to your office work, certainly you will be impacted in the future. I think this has an impact for academia. It has an impact for business. I think it has also an impact for governments, because even in governments, people used to work at a fixed place. Probably for key positions, people will think about how can we make our workplaces more secure, more mobile, in order that if we have a distress, we can really act swiftly to protect the economy. I think that's certainly something we can learn.
Yeah, great. I would totally agree with you. So like digital transformation has totally changed not the health industry and academia, governments. It's many domains of the whole world. I guess, great. Thanks so much, Dr. Hornstein, for sharing with us many of your stories about how to make a whole industry prepare for this global crisis right now and maybe in the future. And I hope everyone will appreciate your great effort to join the other industry partners to help us to develop the COVID-19 medicine faster to deliver to the whole world. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Zilong. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you too.